We are the Catalan Independentist Resistance, and you are listening to a new update from Radio Hadrian in Free Catalonia.
The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way it treats animals. Mahatma Gandhi. This is DavidRaventos. This is chapter 81 in Radio Hadrian. This chapter is dedicated to Sota, a homeless dog, the canine companion of a human person living in the streets in Barcelona. Sota, a peaceful dog, has been executed by the police in plain day, and that's why I want to dedicate that program to her as part of a reflections on living in Barcelona that we'd like to share with you. This week we've done a 24-hour program to keep in contact with the people of Catalonia while things were happening here. Last Friday we have had a meeting with the listeners of this program, as we have every 2 weeks, and we have presented the teaser of The Lie, teaser that we will soon have dubbed in English, we hope. And it's in the process of being dubbed into Spanish. It's teaser of a documentary that will change the history of Catalonia, and we hope of Scotland as well. More than 6,000 people have seen it in 36 hours. People we don't know anything from are sharing this 3-minute teaser, and we're convinced that this 2 years effort that we have been putting into it on and off will change our history, and we certainly hope are gonna help Scotland get independence. In this program we want to talk about the Scottish road to independence that is very commonly spoken in Catalonia, the end of a hunger strike that has been a farce. And I know a bit about hunger strikes because I made one. We want to talk about the Council of Ministers here in Barcelona last Friday and what happened around here. Our documentary, the things related to the execution of Sota, and some primary elections that are some kind of shenanigans for never getting independence. We're opening a 2-week break. It's special weeks here as everywhere in the Western world. We'll have all programs for the next 2 weeks. We'll meet you back in 3 weeks' time. Because we also need time not just to be a father, but just to find some finance to put the project in place. We're meeting people, we can collaborate with us in a number of ways. We are doing conferences everywhere in Catalonia, and this project will declare independence of Catalonia. The people will do it. And we really hope that the people of Scotland are going to do likewise. We are going to declare independence. I am one of the 68 or more people that will declare independence in the next month. So we really encourage people in Scotland to do the same, to take power out of the fake leaders and to find your natural leaders to declare independence. We've had a fake hunger strike of four guys. 2 of them I've known for 30 years. They accepted to take a glucose, which means that they don't do a hunger strike. We found an article that is final in the issue. These guys accepted to take a glucose in one of the main radio stations in Catalonia, and then we have thousands of people collaborating with us in numbers of ways, and I really hope that something similar is going on in Scotland. I don't have the feeling it is, but I want to hope it is. And they passed us an article from the New York Times back in 1975, when 12 members of IRA were coming out, abandoning a hunger strike. And the first thing they had after abandoning the hunger strike was glucose. Thus, they haven't done a hunger strike. They have committed a crime against the Catalan people because they've made millions of people suffer for the fate of 4 traitors that didn't declare independence. And on top of that, to add insult to injury, they have terrorized people into thinking that they could die. Which is another lie, because the High Court, the Constitutional Court, in Spain declared by 10 to 2 some time ago, and that's the thing they're gonna follow in this case, that in case of danger, they're gonna be forcefully fed. So they went to all the trouble of doing a so-called will, a vital will, which is lying to people again, because while you're in a prison in Spain, you cannot die on a hunger strike. So the farce is over. The sad thing is that Spain made former presidents of Generalitat, former presidents of Catalan Parliament, to ask people to stop doing a hunger strike, and right as the rain, or a few hours after that, they quit the so-called hunger strike. Well, the farce knows no limit. A guy in Germany was doing a hunger strike in support, but then you could read in the article that every now and then he took some German borscht or soup. Every now and then. So that's something of a hunger strike, isn't it? So anyways, this farce is over. And then this kind of soap opera entered the new stage. We as a party, we made a communication. We were refusing the fact that the Catalan Council of Ministers was held in Barcelona last Friday. But we also said that this clarifies that no republic and no independence has been declared in Catalonia, because no republic holds councils of ministers of a foreign country. End of. Thus, every commission, every politician talking about republic is a liar that works for Spain. And then we finalized this communication, remembering that the people started this in 2009 and calling everybody to join Directa 68 and finish this farce of this virtual republic that was never declared. Then this Council of Ministers came out with really colonial decisions, like they wanted to change the name of the airport of Barcelona, but to put it in the name of the former Catalan president, Tarradellas, which is not universally admired here, because he's having more shadows every day that goes. And he has been admired in public by Inés Arrimadas, which is the leader of the pro-unionist Ciudadanos. So, but anyways, it's like colonial treatment. And then this 21st, there were some roads were cut, and some people couldn't go to work, and there were some fights, and these things. Which is things that, first, they divert attention from the fact that it's 72 so-called pro-indie people that didn't declare independence. And 70 so-called indie people could declare independence tomorrow, and they don't. So everything and anything that goes outside this path benefits Spain, and it's Spain that's organizing these things. And then on top of that, there was some kind of shenanigan where somebody hit a ultra right-wing journalist in the streets of Barcelona, but we've seen a video where everything seems it was a setup, but of course in Spain they say it was a real aggression. There was a march of only 40,000 people. I know that with Scottish Ice it might seem a lot, but here they don't specialize in declaring independence, but they have good demonstrations. But the bad thing there is that they had somebody, and it seems it was a crisis actress, because she spoke perfect English, and I've seen it in Euronews, this woman saying that 80% of Catalans, they want a referendum. No way, Jose. Real independence, we don't want referendums because we already won independence. So we don't want have more referendums because we already won. So we want, and she was an anonymous person that spoke perfect English. It was dubbed in Spanish, but you could hear English underneath. Either this person is very dumb, or she gets paid to murder independence, or she's straightforward a crisis actress that was flown in. She was given a pro-indie flag and a pro-indie badge, and she gave her words and was taken away. It's the same thing we saw 1 year ago in the Ramblas ban attack, where there was guys that were flown in saying things like, no, the guy wasn't even black, which is something that nobody from Barcelona would ever say. Thus, the 21st of December has been, albeit minor, another Spanish victory. And then you saw Catalan government and Spanish government that had a meeting some hours before. Then the previous night they were together with some entrepreneurs that are against independence, and they're all very happy chappy with one another, and it's all a farce. Every politician you think that is pro-indie, it's not. And mark my words, I'm afraid it's much the same in Scotland. Now we're gonna talk about the 24-hour live program we did and the documentary that will rock the boat of the traitors in Catalonia and hopefully in Scotland and hopefully everywhere else in the world. The next point is the 24-hour Facebook Live, YouTube Live we did to keep in contact with the people of Catalonia, with the real pro-indie people. And it's been great. We had our first panels. We also had Skype panels that we hadn't had before. We had a written message from Delia. We had a question and answers of what I usually do here on Monday nights. But most especially of all, we presented the teaser, 3-minute teaser that we hope to have also translated to English and Spanish soon, about the documentary called The Lie. The first 15 minutes are about Scotland. It talks about the referendum and how independence is being stolen from the people of Scotland. So I'm sure that though it's a Catalan documentary, it's done with lots of love and knowledge, to a point that we have Delia, and you know that I put a lot of interest in Scotland, so we dedicated some time to that part. The first about 15 minutes of a documentary of about 60 are dedicated to Scotland. The middle part of the documentary is about to debunk the concept conspiracy theory and the boiled frog and other ways how they manipulate us. These kind of things that you normally have to find or learn on the internet. We want to put it on the stage. And the third part is about how they stole independence from Catalonia. It's a documentary that we hope it will change history in Catalonia. It has been seen by more than 6,000 people in 36 hours. It's being shared away by people that we had never met before. And if we have it in English soon, as we hope, we'll pass it to you. It will be part of a crowdfunding effort where the information will also be in English and Spanish, not only in Catalan, in our landing page. And some of the prizes include having a exclusive backstage, not meaning that you meet the players, but backstage with catering and private special seats in FC Barcelona Club Stadium, and some other special things with the people who's doing the documentary. So we have a very exciting package of prizes for people that joins us in the crowdfunding, as from new euros, 9 euros I think will be, so it's for every pocket. With that, we'll be much closer to get Catalan independence, and that will be something that will help tremendously Scottish independence, though it is for you Scots to make that happen. So exciting times. 2 years and a half ago, thanks to Delia Forrest, I survived a plot to have me suicide inside that psychiatrist ward where a Spanish judge malevolently, mischievously put me, with knowledge of every Catalan politician of this land. And 2.5 years after that, we're doing conferences. We're about to launch a documentary that will change history. We have a political party. We have Radio Hadrian that will be depicted. Radio Hadrian and K Radio appear, of course, in this documentary, so it would be a way to pay homage to KA Radio and to this program that exists thanks to Cheryl Scott and Delia Forrest. And so that's it. It's a bit of a fairy tale. From the psychiatric ward at the door of losing hope forever, to now touring our country, having a documentary, having this radio program, having international relationships, working on a book that will explain things, having people greeting us and having people recognize that we are gonna be the people who will declare independence. It's a bit like a dream coming true, still a lot of fight to go. But that wouldn't have happened with the links with Scotland. So we really want to increase those links, the same way as we have with Basque Country. Something interesting that happened also is we had somebody from Veneto, contact us during the live show we did, and it's exciting times. I know for a fact that I'm gonna be one of the 70 something, 80 something, 60 a lot, or 100 and something people that will declare independence sooner than later. And that couldn't have happened without the Scottish links. It's incredible because here they're talking about the Scottish way to independence these days, and it's such a farce because, Scotland is not independent. They are scaring people away from the Slovenian way. Some part of fake pro-indie people say we need to go the Slovenian way to scare people off, to fall into the arms of those advocating the Scottish way. And that's where, again, this program is crucial in setting Catalans and then humbly helping Scots getting freedom back. Because we know better than most people in Catalonia that the Scottish way, it's a way based on deceit. It's a way on like your pipers are paid pipers, but paid by Westminster. That's why they belong to the Privy Council. That's why they didn't take measures to avoid the rigging. That's why they don't declare unilaterally independence. And well, we follow these things we don't follow the every day, these Brexit shenanigans, because I have to say that we know it's theatre in Westminster, but at least it's world-class theatre. Not like the Catalan and Spanish parliaments that are like second class compared to the high-class theatre. When you see Corbyn and May and you see the spokesperson, the person running the show there, it's high theatre. So we're looking to see what goes on and how they're gonna use that to further avoid Scottish independence. But you need to know that you are very en vogue here with this Scottish way that we are opposing, because we know better than most how Scottish suffered a referendum, something that is displayed. We go on the postal vote and in the documentary we see, Ruth Davidson talking about the postal vote tampering, and we talk about betting, and we talk about the codes, and we talk about no exit poll. So I think it's a documentary that every Scottish pro-indie people needs to see. Then the big issue here has been that a peaceful dog, we've seen videos of that peaceful dog being patted by kids. Somebody from a hotel called Aire, not Air like in Scotland, but the same but with an E in the end, complained about this guy, a guy who lives on the street and sells bracelets and had this dog. They came to identify the guy, 5 or 6 policemen, and before he had time to identify himself, they hit him. And the dog barked a couple of times, and immediately a policeman shot him dead in the head. And as far as I'm still not with my conscience clear, because it's something I don't see I'm going to be capable of putting in order in 2019, because I go under a lot of stress with leading this project towards independence. But let's hope that my conscience is strong enough to go vegan or something towards that direction in 2020. Okay, I'm still not where my conscience tells me I should be, but it's difficult for me. I eat very wrongly, and I read out of anxiety, and I do have a lot of anxiety. I almost have no private life or social life outside the fight I'm having for independence. So it's complex for me. I don't want that to sound as an excuse. But at least the death of Sota, that lovely dog, should serve to let us assess on the animals we murder for eating or we use for clothing that we shouldn't need to do. That will be the first one. The second is that everything is a farce here, because this mayors, we have Ada Colau, of which we spoke in chapter 6, and her friendly party, Podemos, and it's all a farce. The 15M movement in Spain is organized by Soros. So everything that comes out, it's a lie. But they're supposed to, before you know that all the parties are run by the elite, all of them, you would assume that this party, which is kind of like populist, left-wing, well, you would expect Barcelona to be organized or clean, and you would expect every friend of them to be put in a place where they get paid. You would expect that. But at least you would assume, even when you know this is a soap opera and they all are part of the elite, but at least they should pretend. They should do it with grace, but they don't. And it comes out that the most fascist behavior from the police happens with these happy chappy people from Ada Colau. So it goes on to show that's still much more of a farce than we think. But it also should give us something more to think of the people living on the streets in Scotland and in Catalonia, mainly in Barcelona. During those months those months that Delia kept me afloat, also with Luis and Gerard, and in a different way my family, I was thinking, because of the chemical shit they put on me, that I was going to end up homeless. And something that could still happen. Depends on the turn of event. I might come out a pauper of a king, not a king, because we don't like kings here. But that makes you realize how one disgrace or two or one bad step might end you on the street. So let's not only have our passion for animals take anger here, but let's also be human and humanist and think, how can we end people living on the streets? Because even if it's somebody that has done something to leave you there, but they deserve a second chance, okay? But lots of the times I could have ended on the street just for doing a hunger strike for the independence of my country. So I imagine it's not a unique case, maybe unique in the case of fighting for Catalan independence, but some other people might end there without any fault on their side. So should this awful, horrendous event, let's bring responsibilities on this police. It's been a very bad week for Barcelona police because a high position guy was arrested on pedophile charges. And but also give you the thing that somebody that can shot a dog in an abuse could shot a person. So this guy cannot have a gun 1 second more. Something else that has gone on in Barcelona is this supposedly this people's election to put somebody to compete for the mayor of Barcelona, and it's supposed to be very democratic and so on. But then you realize that the spokesperson for this is none other than Anarque, an infiltrator that is relevant in Scotland as well, because he's been a contributor for Bella Caledonia. The three persons that were international observers to collaborate with the Scottish referendum rigging are Joan Vives, Anarque, and Elisenda Paluzie. Well, Anarque is the spokesperson for this primary election in Barcelona, in Catalonia. Elisenda Paluzie happened to be the one collaborating more with this thing, and they are the current wife and the former girlfriend of Joan Vives and Soler Vicent, which is the top mole that has placed every other mole in this mockery of a country which Catalonia is nowadays. And I've seen pictures of this guy next to the tables where the elections were made. So basically somebody called Jordi Graupera, which we know for a fact that it's a mole and of whom we've spoken previously in this program, now he is candidate supposedly for independent party, but we know he works for Spain. So everything went as planned. And to top it off, the guys that came out number 1 and 2 voted by people, but they've been appearing in Catalan television a lot. So we keep thinking we do elections, but actually we're just validating the choices, which are not real choices, that the elite have made for us. So it's been a week bad for animals, bad for people, bad for truth on one side, but on the other hand, it's a week where the Catalan resistance stronger than ever, where the teaser of the documentary is shaking the ground and the defeat of the traitors running Catalonia. So we are winning this. We're gonna win this. Visca Catalunya lliure. Saora Luba Gubra.
This has been another update from the Catalan Independentist Resistance from Radio Hadrian. Remember that you can follow us on social media, either on Facebook, YouTube, our Twitter account, Instagram, Google, Telegram, and also on iVoox.
El 13 de setembre de 2009, el poble de Catalunya, amb total indiferència dels partits regionalistes, decideix organitzar una consulta popular sobre la independència. L'èxit és esclatant, 70% a favor de la independència. Espanya se sent amenaçada. Les consultes, sense partits polítics, són l'expressió de la sobirania del poble català, que Madrid no té sota control. Els partits regionalistes catalans es fan independentistes. Creen l'ANC, l'Assemblea Nacional Catalana, per agrupar l'independentisme popular de les consultes. La mentida. 11 de setembre de 2012. El poble de Catalunya es manifesta amb més de 2 milions de persones a Barcelona amb un crit únic i unànime: independència. Els anys següents es fan 6 manifestacions milionàries més, amb el crit únic i unànime: independència. La mentida. 9 de novembre de 2014. Els catalans són cridats a un referèndum per la independència que acaba sent una simple consulta no vinculant. Malgrat això, el resultat és un esclatant 80,91% per la independència. 27 de setembre de 2015. Les eleccions al Parlament de Catalunya es plantegen com a plebiscitàries. Els partits regionalistes, ara independentistes, guanyen les eleccions amb 72 diputats, més de la majoria absoluta, però incompleixen la promesa electoral i no fan cap declaració. 14 de febrer de 2016. Mor Muriel Casals, una de les líders independentistes en circumstàncies no aclarides, en ser atropellada per una bicicleta. La Muriel exigia als 72 diputats la declaració unilateral que havien promès. 3 de maig de 2016. L'activista independentista DavidRaventos es declara en vaga de fam per exigir la declaració unilateral d'independència i és obligat per la força a trencar la vaga de fam. Un jutge espanyol ordena el seu tancament a un psiquiàtric on és torturat químicament durant 2 mesos. La mentida. 1 d'octubre de 2017 es convoca un altre referèndum. La policia espanyola assalta els col·legis electorals. Tanmateix, la victòria és aclaparadora amb un 90,18% pel sí a la independència. Incomprensiblement, el 10 i el 27 d'octubre de 2017, els diputats del Parlament de Catalunya responen fent 2 falses declaracions d'independència.
I amb la mateixa solemnitat, el govern i jo mateix proposem que el Parlament suspengui els efectes de la declaració d'independència.
El govern espanyol respon aplicant l'article 155 de la Constitució en lloc del 116, que és el que pertocaria en cas d'una declaració autèntica, i fan presonar els líders catalans malgrat no hagin fet cap acte delictiu, perquè les declaracions són simbòliques i sense cap tipus d'efecte jurídic. Escòcia va perdre la independència amb un referèndum trampa. Ara els líders catalans, abans regionalistes i ara independentistes, demanen permís a Espanya per fer un referèndum a Catalunya, com el d'Escòcia. La mentida. El documental de la veritat.